That lady's name is Kate, who is going to give birth of a baby. She goes to the hospital, but she notices blood stains everywhere. His newborn baby is dead as he comes into the life. Knowing it, she is dejected and she begins to weep while shouting. Everyone was looking awkward there. But Kate wakes us all of a sudden because it was just a nightmare. Being worried, she moves to the lavatory. It had really happened with them, and they had lost their third baby because of this. Now Kate used to miss her baby a lot. She used to take the drug in order to forget him. She used to remain sorrowful enough that she was weakening psychologically. So there was a continuous argument between husband and wife. Kate used to take the alcoholic drink to forget her sorrow, but she was habitual to take the counseling session because she wanted to recover herself. Kate had already 2 kids. She wanted to perform her mother role perfectly. She has a little deaf daughter and there is a son. She did not forget after losing her third kid. So she suggests to her husband that we may adopt the one more baby in place of that baby. It may be adopted younger child if not a little baby. His husband agrees with him. One day, they go to the orphanage. There were many orphans who used to live there. They meet a little girl there named Esther. She was 9 or 10 years old. They like that little girl while conversing with her. That little girl was also talking with them contentedly. It means she had intimated with them. They are excited thinking this little will fill the space of their third kid. They go to the kid's nurturer of orphanage to take the custody of that little girl. They ask them about Esther. Which type of the girl is she? Then nurturer tells, this little girl is very sensible, and she talks mature enough, beyond her age. She has also etiquette, and she is also jolly. She informs that her family died in an accident, and she survived hardly, but she never realized it. She knows how to speak English nicely even though she is from Russia, because she is very brilliant. Then that couple brings her into their house. Kate's younger daughter feels happiness seeing Esther, because she had got her sister. But Kate's son was envying, thinking it. Why did his parents bring her? Now they will not value me as before. He was not talking with Esther happily. Kate and her husband are in their room at a night. Then Esther comes there along with Kate's younger daughter, and she says, Mother, we are feeling difficulty in sleeping. Then Kate calls them. One day, Kate's son is playing a game in a forest nearby the house. He had a gun and he was shooting the objects, targeting them. A pigeon is accidentally targeted during this by him. Being wounded completely, the pigeon falls down. That boy runs to that pigeon. Meanwhile, Esther and that younger girl also appear there. Esther says to that boy, bringing and giving a stone to him, kill the pigeon immediately, otherwise it will continue to feel pain, and it will be ached. But Kate's son says, I apologize. I cannot do this. I cannot end it. Then Esther says, we will have to end it, and she throws the stone on the pigeon forcefully. As a result, it bleeds much and then dies. Now she was bold or cruel, nothing can be guessed here. Next scene takes place at school. A girl used to irritate Esther at school. She used to torture her every time by words. That girl comes to the seated Esther and touches her neck. At this time, Esther shrieks loudly, which makes every child fearful. Then she returns to the house. It is seen that Kate had started to love Esther a lot. She used to take care of her in every way as a mother does with her kid. Kate says to Esther, may I show you the grave of my third kid? Then Esther accompanies her, but she begins to weep having the sight of grave as she reaches there. Seeing her, she feels love for her and embraces her. They had developed the great affections that it was not appearing that Esther has been brought from orphanage. Now the view of house is shown where Kate and her husband are passing their time with each other. Then Esther instantly comes there but leaves. Kate goes after her. Then Esther says to Kate, don't worry, cool down. I know everything. Kate is surprised thinking how a little girl can talk as such. She mentions it with her husband. Her husband says, she was not used to live with us, and we don't know which things she knows about. Nurturer had also told that she gets the point quickly. In the following day, it is seen that Kate's husband takes his kids into the park. Esther is also along with them. They are playing there. Then a little girl is shown there who used to irritate Esther at school. Esther begins to stare at her mysteriously. That little girl is a bit worried thinking I have not teased her now. But Esther does not confine herself at staring, but she pushed her from the slide swing. As a result, that little girl receives a serious injury. All are dining together at night. Kate's husband asks Esther, what was the actual matter? Esther says, Father, we were just playing. She falls down while slipping. His younger daughter gives the same statement. But Kate's son was looking at her with suspicion, because he knew that she is telling a lie. He says to Esther, you are telling a lie. But his parents ask him to say sorry to her. But that kid says, I will never ever say it. And he leaves the dining table. Kate's husband says to his wife, now their son will not go outside for playing, because he has rudely behaved with Esther. But they were also noticing the awkward behavior of Esther. Then they also receive a call of nurture from orphanage. Kate reveals everything to her. Nurturer comes to their house to meet Kate. She says, "I apologize. I had to inform you before that we had no knowledge about Esther, but we had often noticed that Esther was present in the surrounding at the time of strange happenings of orphanage, and we also used to realize her mysterious behavior. It is my fault that I had not sent her with you." She says, "It may be my hallucination, but many strange happenings around Esther is not a coincidence." Kate is worried thinking Esther, but Kate's husband says, "Why do you get worried?" As Nurturer saying that it may be their hallucination, but Nurturer tells she also gets control over others. Esther is hearing them covertly. She takes Kate's younger daughter, going to her. She holds the treehouse keys and also keeps a gun. Esther was waiting when the Nurturer will leave their house. As she gets in her car, coming out of the house, Esther, along with Kate's younger daughter, also reaches there. She pushes Kate's younger daughter in front of the car as it drives on the road. Witnessing her, Nurturer tries to slow down her car. But the car is not slowed down, but the car's control is lost. Getting off the car, she immediately looks at that little girl. But Esther attacks her from the backside. That Nurturer dies at the spot because she hammers her head for many times. Esther was acting all these before that little girl. She does not care which effect will leave on her mind. That Kate's younger daughter is very frightened, but she explains to her, "Nothing happened. It was necessary for us to kill her." She takes her to the treehouse with her. Going there, she cleans the blood stains on her body so that no one may suspect. As she has ended someone, Kate's son glimpses them when they are coming out of the treehouse. Being suspected before, he keeps an eye on her, but he hides himself as Esther casts her glance in that direction. Anyhow, Esther had seen him. When he is sleeping at night, Esther goes to him, taking a paper cutter, and makes him fearful, threatening, "I will end you if you expose anything before anyone." That couple brings Esther to a counselor while observing her awkward behaviors. But Esther confuses counselor here very trickily. She confuses him in such a way that counselor thinks as she is right. And Kate is not offering those rights which should be given to a kid. Kate's husband is infuriated, hearing it. "It was your plan, so why are you not getting courage to tackle her?" The marital conflict again begins between them. They receive a call from orphanage, reaching at house. They are telling that Nurturer is still missing. The police investigates this case as this news travels outside, and they get the dead body of that Nurturer. Kate and her husband get worried thinking that she visited at our house last time. What happened? She died on her return. But couple decides that they will investigate together what is the arriving place of Esther. Kate says, "We will get information from that Russia orphanage." When did the girls named Esther come? They inquiry from everywhere. But they come to know that no girl named Esther was in any orphanage of Russia. Then the scene turns and it is seen that Kate is working in the kitchen. Then Esther comes there, holding the flowers. She gifts them Kate. Kate loses her temper, seeing it, because those flowers were belonged to her younger daughter's grave. She tries to snatch those flowers from Esther while gripping her arm firmly, but Esther is not giving her flowers. Then Kate's husband approaches there, and he stops them. And Kate moves to her daughter's grave while weeping, and she begins to talk to her, weeping. In the next scene, when Kate's husband arrives at house, then Esther tells him that I have been beaten badly by Kate. In fact, she has hurt herself. She hurt her in such a way that indicates Kate has broken her bones. Kate's husband feels very inadequate because he had never thought his wife so cruel. He begins to create a distance from his wife after this act. Kate is already not feeling comfortable, and she begins to take alcoholic drink, noticing her husband's behavior. So she goes to a shop to take the alcoholic drink, but she wastes the alcoholic drink, not taking it. One day, Kate is going to drop her kids at school. Her son's sum of books are dropped down from his bag when he is entering the school. Kate goes there to return his books, but Esther starts the car and that car begins to reverse. Kate's younger daughter was also in that car. Seeing it, Kate and the people in surrounding try their best to stop that car, but no one is able to stop it. But the car itself stops, striking with the lying snow at the backside. Running there, Kate takes her daughter out of the car and begins to care. She had left more worried after this incident, because she was feeling and someone is killing her happiness. Noticing her depression, Kate's husband calls her counselor at home. Kate's husband tells counselor that she has brought alcoholic drink last night. But Kate tells them that I did not take a single drop of alcoholic drink. Kate's counselor says to her, "You will have to send to the rehabilitation center, where you will be freed from the habit of drinking and you will return after recovering." But no one believes on her. Now Kate's son is shown going to his sister. He asks her, "Do you know something?" Then that little girl begins to draw something on the paper. Seeing it, it was proved that Esther has murdered along with the evil doings. Now Kate's son was sure that Esther is an evil girl. He says to his sister, going to the treehouse, "I will collect some evidences. We can unmask Esther through them." He thinks, "I will sure expose to my parents that she is an evil girl." On the other side, Kate is checking the room of Esther. She comes across a book there, containing numerous photographs. There is also mentioned the name of an institute on that book. Being curious, she calls to that place for investigation. Is it orphanage? A lady speaks out, "No, it is psychiatric hospital." Then Kate knows that she has come from a psychiatric hospital. Contrarily, Kate's son comes on the scene who had visited Treehouse to collect evidences. But Esther also reaches there and somehow she burns all evidences. As a result, the whole treehouse is burned out. And Kate's son is also wounded because of this. Esther comes downstairs, locking him in the treehouse. He is locked inside. Somehow, he comes out while opening the window of it. But he was badly wounded while treehouse was still set on fire. Falling down from there, he loses his consciousness. Kate was observing through her house. She runs to her daughter, witnessing her son knocking out. Meantime, Esther is going to throw a stone on that kid while lifting it. Then that Kate's younger sister approaches there, and she forbids Esther. At the same time, Kate also arrives there. She takes her son to the hospital. Now, Kate is attempting to explain to her husband that Esther is responsible all of it. But he says, she is a kid. She cannot do as such. He was saying as such because Esther had lured him that he was not ready to hear a single word against her. Now it is seen that Esther goes to that place furiously, where Kate's son is present. She tries to finish him there. Fortunately, he is rescued. Knowing it, Kate becomes aggressive. Going to Esther, she slaps her violently before everyone. She knew that it has been committed by Esther, but the doctors prove Kate a madwoman, and they injects her. Going there, Kate's husband embraces Esther because he was thinking that this girl is guiltless. Now it is seen that Kate is in the hospital, and her husband returns to his house, taking his younger daughter and Esther. Coming to the house, he begins to take alcoholic drink. Then Esther comes there. She has dressed her up like the young ladies. She had put on the makeup very much, and she sits near Kate's husband, coming there. But he used to think Esther as his daughter. So he leaves that place, and Esther also leaves to her room. On the other side, it is witnessed that Kate receives a call from that psychiatric hospital, and they expose who is actually Esther. Kate is left shocked, hearing it. It is told to her that Esther is not a kid but a young lady of 33 years old. They tell that she suffers such a disease in which her body had stopped growing, but her mental age is 33 years old like a mature lady. She took revenge of it from the people and befooled everyone in his lifetime, appearing as a little girl. He also tells her that she was notorious as an aggressive patient in the hospital. She murdered a number of the people. He tells her that she also murdered that family which adopted her before you. The speaker on call instructs Kate, the police must be involved in this matter. Otherwise, it may be risky. Contrarily, Esther is shown who is taking off her makeup. She had some scars on her hands and neck. She used to wear the strips to hide them. She also takes off those strips here, and she is seen in her real look here. On the other side, Kate's husband is annoying that she talked with a little girl as such. It is possible that he had taken her wrong. He goes to talk to her. Going to her room, he observes many mysterious paintings hanging there. Then he receives a call, and he is nearly receive a call. But that little girl, who is actually a woman of 33 years old, attacks him from the backside, and he is dead there. His younger daughter is also there and witnessing everything. She hides herself into her room. On the opposite, Kate is also returning to her house, and he also informs the police. Reaching her house, she observes that her husband is dead. She feels regretful going to him, and she weeps a lot. Why did she not know it before? She may save her husband after knowing about Esther before the time. Kate searches out her daughter throughout the house. Then Esther also fires her gun on her, leaving her wounded. On the other side, Kate's younger daughter hides in a greenhouse from Esther, but Esther was also searching her. Meantime, it is observed that Kate comes at the roof of the greenhouse, and she was trying to divert the attention of Esther. At the same time, she jumps over her, breaking its glass. Police also arrives there. Esther had knocked out in the greenhouse, and Kate comes outside, taking her younger daughter. Esther again restores her senses and attacks them, coming outside, and Esther attacks them many times. But the younger daughter kills Esther while firing a gun as she lifts it. But that bullet misses the shot on Esther and targets on the frozen water. She begins to drown gradually. Kate and Esther are both fallen into the water. Somehow, Kate comes out of the water. Esther again pulls her down again. Kate again throws her, hitting on her face. As a result, She is wounded badly and loses her consciousness in the water, and she will soon die there. Kate leaves, lifting her daughter from there, and the movie also completes on this scene.